except our speakers, of course, which I will unmute. And now it's my pleasure to introduce our speakers for today, Gitzy Loder and Pia Ivano with Inspired Results Consulting out of Omaha. So thank you for being with us today, and I'm going to turn it over to you.
Yes, thank you so much. I love all the introductions.
Yeah.
So many things that you guys do already tie into what we do. So we loved hearing about the energy and the cultural and just everything. So I'm Gitzy.
I'm Pia, and we're sisters. If you didn't know, but we also, we're the owners of Inspired Results Consulting. And first, we just want to say thank you, Steve, for having us. We just love your group, and we're excited to provide value. Today, we're just gonna, we're prompted with some questions on how to guide this conversation. So we're gonna talk about our business. Then we're gonna talk about what we've learned in just developing over the last couple of years. We started in 2018. So, and then we're gonna talk about some successes, what's gone right, and then what some might call mistakes or failures. Yeah, so we want to just start off and ask everyone, what do you think is the biggest challenge for entrepreneurs? And maybe this can come from personal experience or just overall. So does anybody have any ideas of
What has been the biggest challenge for you as an entrepreneur?
So feel free to just
unmute it. Yeah, anybody brave enough to share.
Get some engagement.
Well, I always have something to say. So anybody who knows me knows I'm jumping in right here.
Yes.
I think Kat just typed in the chat, staying focused, which is huge for me. I think she was thinking about me when she said that. But also, how do I get to the next level? How do I grow? How do I keep myself constantly growing and challenging? That for me is it's easy to get in a rut.
Absolutely. Yeah, totally. Yeah, we love that. And staying focused, staying in a rut. Does anybody else have anything else?
Ryan, have you seen anything with
mine is knowing that getting rid of the feeling like I'm the only one that's going through this right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And getting to meet other people like in these groups at SCC and stuff, and knowing that actually everyone is going through this exact same feeling.
Totally.
I think another key element is surrounding yourself with mentors or people that are strong in the areas you're not strong in, so that you have one, accountability, and two, resources.
Perfect. Awesome. Yeah. Great answers. We got this. Yeah. So we help entrepreneurs really level up, and one of their biggest challenges, what we find their biggest challenge is their mind.
Their mind. So do you guys know what your mind is? So we are mindset and success coaches. So we help entrepreneurs and high achievers shorten their path to success by talking about a lot of those things and really guiding them by understanding the mind.
Yeah. So just so you know a little background, we've been trained through the Proctor Gallagher Institute, and our mentor is Bob Proctor. So he's been studying human potential for over 60 years. So our knowledge comes from him and his successful lineage. So we wanted to just give you a little background about why. Why is it important as an entrepreneur to really understand your mind?
So we understand that we operate on 3 planes. We operate on our physical plane, our intellectual plane, and our spiritual plane. So most people, most entrepreneurs are operating from the physical and the intellectual, but we discount the spiritual side as well. So we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. And for us, the spiritual side is understanding your intuition, trusting your knowledge, and trusting your, that gut feeling,
imagination, perception, reason, a lot of the mental faculties that we're never taught about.
Right. And so we wanted to just give you a mental picture. And as humans, we think in pictures. So if I were to ask you what your car looks like, you could tell me, right? You don't have to be in front of your car to know what it looks like. You know the color, everything. So when we talk about the mind, there's a little analogy that we like to share.
Excuse me, I hate to interrupt you, but your audio is cracking up, and I don't know if there's something you can do on your end to maybe rectify that. We can hear you, but it's
cracking up.
There's crackling. I mean, it's just not coming through terrifically. I don't know if there's anything you can do differently. Perhaps there isn't.
Switch to a phone?
Yeah, we could switch.
We could switch to a cell phone. Do you think that would help?
We're on the laptop. I don't know if the connection isn't good right now.
We can
Well-
get closer to the screen. I don't know if that doesn't help.
It almost seemed like it might be volume related. So the louder you talked, the more it sort of distorted. But I could be mistaken
Okay.
about that.
So I'll turn it down a little. Maybe we need to slow down. We're excited. Is
Right
that
now
better?
you sound good. Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right. We'll try to
Sorry
calm
to-
down.
sorry to
We get
interrupt.
excited about our topic. So we were just gonna share with you why we find the mind to be so important for you as entrepreneurs.
So the mind is a cybernetic mechanism or instrument. So think about a thermostat. Okay, so we want you to get a visual image of a thermostat in your home. Let's say it's winter in Nebraska and you have it set at 70 or 72 in your home, and somehow the front door opens and cold air comes in. We know that the thermostat, the furnace will kick on, and it's going to try to regulate the temperature of the room back to the set point, right? So just like a thermostat, your mind does the exact same thing. And this is so important to understand when we are starting businesses in any really aspect of your life. Can you hear us? Can everyone hear us? We just got an alert.
It started cutting out again a little bit. I don't know what would fix it for you.
Yeah. Okay.
They should lean closer to their mic, then it was clear.
So
Does that really help?
No.
It seems to, yes.
Oh.
Let's try that.
Does it really work?
Well, it is at the.
Jody says no.
Okay. Let's see. We're going to try to get on our phones here.
We will make this work.
Just give us 1 minute. We really have good information to share with you guys.
Okay, so we're gonna
connect on our phones and see if this will work better. So okay, so let's put it up here. Okay, give us 1 second. Here, I can just hold it. Okay, I'm gonna get off of here. Right?
Can you see us?
We can see you. I don't think we can hear you. I can't hear anybody. Never mind.
And I can't hear or see them.
There we
So
go.
There you
yeah.
go.
Are we
Hear you.
sideways? Okay. No, maybe
A
this
little
way.
bit. There you go.
It has to be this way. Okay, we're gonna, you guys. We're gonna do this. This is the part of entrepreneurship, okay? Yeah, just going with it. There's a section we're gonna talk about challenges. It's called technology.
Too bad
Okay.
Luke isn't here with us right now.
Good thing we're sisters. We can get close to each other. Okay. How's that? So we're gonna do that so that we could stand up. Is that okay? Okay. Everyone see us? Yay!
Yes. Okay.
Yay! Back on track. So, all right. So, first thing we just wanted to, again, recapping. The mind is so important for you as entrepreneurs and for us. So, subconscious, we really go into understanding your subconscious mind, your conscious mind. So, 96-98% of your habits, what you do day to day as an entrepreneur, as a person, whether it's personal or professional world, is, you're operating based off of old conditioning, right? So let's imagine you have a goal, that's something that you've set for yourself, something you want to try new, starting a new company, acquiring new clients, whatever it is for you, and maybe it's something you've never done before. You're gonna hit up against the wall of, fear and doubt and worry and all the things. So understanding how you're operating is a big part of getting to that next level. And that's what we do, is really help you understand how you're operating so that you can get to the next level, because it's so possible. So what happens? So we have a conscious and we have a subconscious mind. And in our subconscious mind, we have something that we like to call the noisy roommate. So if you have ever, as you started to branch out on your own, or just, I guess, in life in general, this applies to life, business, anything really. Yeah. You have doubts that come up. You have those thoughts of, I'm not good enough. No one in my family has done this before. How am I going to do this? Right? Mm-hmm. So all these things, this noisy roommate is going on all the time. We have to understand how we're operating. And this is why understanding the mind is so huge.
for anything in our life, but regarding this topic, entrepreneurship. So a couple things: we have to be able to cut out the negative influences, the negative chatter, the negative thoughts. We have to be able to check that right when it happens. We have to surround ourselves. As John was saying, we have to surround ourselves with mentors, coaches, people that are going to lift us up. If our environment isn't conducive to us growing, we're going to stay stuck. So when we try to branch out, power surge, yes, Doug, yeah. So those are a couple things, and it just makes it harder. You just keep feeling like you're hitting a wall if you don't have the understanding of how you're operating on the inside. So the second thing we're going to talk about is what we've learned in the process.
Yeah. So one of the things that, just for us, we started our company 2 years ago, has really been an understanding that success for us has been 95% mindset and only 5% strategy. And what does this mean for us? We have really tapped into knowing the importance of, I don't know if you've heard this, the professionals create and amateurs compete. So one analogy is like the bread aisle. You look down the bread aisle, you see all these different companies doing the exact same thing, selling bread. So the same with you and for us in our industry, there are many people doing the exact same thing that we do. We have to just understand only thing we can focus on is how is our mindset, and really focusing on the people that we're serving, right? And that goes back to not focusing on strategies that don't align with what we want. So there's so many strategies out there, whether it's marketing or, there's so many ways to go about your business. For us, it's always, does this feel good? Is this what we want? Right. Because there's a lot of, people like the bread aisle, other people doing different things. And if we start to try to do what they're doing because we think that they're successful, it doesn't feel right. Yeah. So we've done this, as we've started to grow. We were like, oh, that looks good. They're doing this. Let's try that, and ultimately it wasn't what we wanted, and it didn't align with our bigger picture. So we have our purpose, our vision, and our goals. Those are 3 things we talk about. So our purpose is really raising people's level of awareness so that they can start operating at their most effective level, right? So we're really tapping into our intuition, as we talked earlier, our imagination, things that you can't really put into strategy, right? It's more just lining up with who we are and what we're passionate about and the people that we're serving. Yeah. The second thing that we've learned as entrepreneurs is persistence. So you guys, I'm sure you've all just seen the value and keep going, like just don't stop. And Gitzy and I are we've over the past few years, we've seen how no matter what has come up for us, we know we can't stop. Again, your audience, your clients, your future clients are there. They need you just as much as you need them. So it's just keep going. If something's not working right, don't let that be the reason why you stop. So our purpose is bigger than us. I think somebody mentioned this is bigger than us. I totally believe that. So we have that, we hold that image in our mind, and that's what we're working towards. So sometimes along the way, in the past 2 years, the plan has changed, but our goal remains. And so many times we've seen other people too, because we've done it, not keep sight of what they're working towards and get thrown off so much by exterior circumstances, conditions, events, people, throw them off. And then once you keep that goal, your dream, your desire, what your purpose is, if you keep that, hold that image in your mind, that will drive you forward, and that persistence will just be natural. Yeah. One of the things we love to do is really visualizing is huge, because we are all constantly, the power of, we're thankful we get to work together. It's just always keeping that image of what we want. What's our end goal? Where do we see ourselves? And for any entrepreneur, it can get very easily distracted by the external circumstances, right? If you're looking at pandemic. Yes. Pandemic. Hello. Yeah. And this is what happens when you're not really understanding how you're operating. You easily get affected by the external. So this has gone well for us, just understanding the power that we have by controlling ourselves, and persistence has been one of the key things with that for us. So we understand that we can only control ourselves. So having a good understanding of how we're operating is amazing in helping us succeed. Yeah. So we like to, just kind of talking back to that, holding the vision, is
really operating from the level like you've already succeeded. So many times we just operate, okay, we're looking at our current circumstances and just saying, oh, you know what, this is how it is. I don't see how I can be up here. So if I'm here and my desire, my goal is here, and I'm just looking at my current circumstances, that's exactly what you're going to get, right? So you have to start operating from the level as if you already, whatever your goal is, you've already achieved that goal, because that's where the magic happens, right? So if you keep operating off of limited beliefs or old conditioning, you're going to keep getting more of the same. Now imagine yourself operating from your highest self, from your level of success, whatever success is to you. What would that feel like, right? And if you can start feeling that now, if you can feel what it feels like to be now where you want to be, it's all feelings. That's all it is. Because even when you get here, then you're going to want to go here. It doesn't end, right? There's always more, right? Exactly. The next level. So that's really what we've learned. And the next one we're going to talk about is what has gone right for us in our business. And we're going to say, so Steve asked us to talk about mistakes. And we wanted to say, Steve, we love you, but we don't feel that we've made mistakes. So, and let's tell you why. Yes, because again, and like many of you, you've learned from every mistake, right? So first we'll talk about what's gone right for us. Again, we just go back to our purpose is the progress we've seen with our clients, and that's what's gone right. No matter what's going on externally, we have that the testimonials from our clients and the people that we work with. So that's a huge win for us. You know, we didn't have entrepreneurial background or family to really tell us how to do this. We just did it ourselves. We're like,
and parents are from Chile, from South America. They came here, had us. We were born in the States. We were raised by a single mother. There was nothing in our cards to say that we would ever, branch out our own and try to start a business by ourselves. So
and another thing is decision making. So this was a huge thing for us because we were working corporate our whole lives.
The comfort,
there's so much comfort and security with that, right? And I'm sure you all feel that. The decision to start a company was huge for us, and then also to leave our corporate jobs. That was forget all the security blankets, just rip them out from under you. And being able to thrive even through a pandemic has been something that has really shown us the power behind just back to persistence. But yes, decision making and risk taking. So this sort of relates to leaving our corporate jobs and just understanding as an entrepreneur, you're going to get scared. There's going to be fear. Things are going to come up, but that's not a reason for you to stop. And so that's just been some of the things that have gone right for us.
So we know that confidence comes from experience, right? Mm-hmm. So the more we keeping on and serving our clients, we are building our experience and our confidence, right? So the failures, right? The things that we didn't really see as part of the plan to our goal, actually is helping us get there quicker. So the more we fail, the quicker we can get to where we want to be. So we actually embrace failure and really see it as building our confidence because we now know what we don't want, right? So when we can look and see and feel what we don't want, we know the opposite is what we do want, right?
Totally. So this actually goes back to when we were talking with each other about some failures. One of the things that we've learned as entrepreneurs is really trusting our intuition. And this is just, it works the more you practice it, right?
Right. It's like a muscle.
Yes. Yeah. So one of the experience we were going to talk about is that we personally don't like PowerPoints. So this is funny now that this technology can happen. Because one time we followed strategy, the 5%, that didn't resonate with us, right? So we created this lovely PowerPoint for this presentation.
It was beautiful.
It was so nice. It was so beautiful. And guess what happened? The technology was slow while we were throughout the presentation. And we just felt off. We didn't feel like we connected with the audience. It was just sort of what we would consider a hot mess because it was just like, what are we doing? And from that moment, we realized we're done with PowerPoints. We don't need PowerPoints. We just want to talk our guided inspiration. And today, technology, so it really doesn't matter. So again, this might be considered a failure of switching from laptop to camera, but really it's not, because again, we just see how how we can still flow, I guess. So and like Jill said, like you see that other people have these struggles, right? And how did they overcome it, right? We just went with it because maybe this has happened before, but you just keep rolling with it. So adaptable, yes. What would it feel? That's your number one. Oh yeah, we're talking about strengths. Yeah, too. I'm adaptable too. She's adaptable. I'm a woo. She's a woo. That's my first one. Yeah. So we wanted to also just relate all of this to the power of understanding how you're operating and yes, just what would it feel like if you were able to really operate from the level where you just drew from your intuition, from your imagination, from the trusting piece of you, and you weren't really, there's always going to be fear. Fear can be a healthy thing, right? You to jump off a cliff, right? You want to have a little fear, right? Like it's not always a bad thing. So we take that into consideration. Now, I want you to consider this. We're going to give you an image to work with here. When you start operating from that knowing how you know how your mind works, you know how your conscious and your subconscious, your body, your thoughts create your feelings create your actions, and your actions are creating your results. Parachute. Let's say you're going to go skydiving, okay? So you're already kind of nervous, maybe a little excited. We talked about confidence earlier. What would help grow your confidence is knowing the thing that you're going to be hanging from in the middle of the air, how it's made, the material it's made of, what it's constructed of, and possibly even who packed it. Were they qualified to pack it, right? So having the knowledge of how this thing is operating, that's all packed up in this little bundle before it pops out, right? Having that knowledge increases your confidence in moving forward and jumping out of that plane. Same with you. So this has helped us as we grow, and what we help our clients with is really understanding how you're operating from the inside so that you can move forward confidently. Because, now for the gal that does premier jewelry, absolutely, we love the idea of feeling good on the outside, but feeling good on the inside, that's like irreplaceable. Yeah, because we all have two images. We have the external image and we have the internal image, right? So can you feel that resistance, or just imagine the resistance when someone is, all dressed nice and everything, but they come to you and they hardly look at your eyes, and they can't even, really, their confidence isn't there. So that's the internal image that comes out, whether you know it or not. So we love that, the idea of aligning both your internal and your external image. Yeah, that's huge. We finish each other's third time. So Takeo might understand that a little bit with energy. So we are energy, right? So energy is not created or destroyed. It just is energetic beings. And if we have that outer image and it looks all nice on the outside, but we know internally if you're not aligned and that energy isn't lined up from the thoughts to the feelings to the actions, you're not going to be operating at your maximum. So if I have a salesperson and I tell them to go sell $1 million of whatever it is in a year, insurance policy, and they do the right actions or the strategy, but their mindset and the internal image isn't lined up, there's going to be resistance. And the people that they go to are going to feel something's off. They're going to be, the salesperson will be doing everything right on the outside. You might be doing everything you need to on the outside as far as an entrepreneur as well. But when you go to ask for the money, or that person's just not going to feel right, there's going to be a little bit of the vibration's going to be off. Yeah. So again, for us, that goes back to understanding your subconscious mind and how powerful your limiting beliefs and your habits, is what we call the paradigms, really control everything that you do and operate. So, so those are the things that I really just wanted to share with you today. We're open to questions. Any questions about our experience or the mind? Yeah, we appreciate you guys as entrepreneurs. Those are just some of the experiences that we've had, and we can definitely share more. Yes, we can only see two people, so go ahead.
I know. Well, I'm gonna move back to gallery so I can see everybody, because I had it on speaker view. What would you say drew you to coaching in particular? So you're you're coming from a corporate world. What kind of, I'm always interested to hear about, why do you do what you do?
Yes, thank you so much. So my background is actually in academia. I was teaching at the University of Tulsa. I was going for my PhD. I was in the academic realm for so long, and it wasn't until that Gitzy and I actually started talking about wanting to start our own company. And I had the idea of coaching before, but I didn't have connect with any material that really felt that I was being sort of like that professional educator. I wanted to be in that realm where I knew the power behind what we were teaching. So Proctor Gallagher Institute really focuses on human development and understand your mind. And that's so powerful. I feel that's why I connected with it, because I had been through school for so long and I'd never been taught about myself. Self-awareness is really what we're passionate about. And because we know, even as an entrepreneur, any area of your life, whether you're trying to lose weight or, you know, get to another level financially, if you don't understand your own beliefs and how you're operating, then it's just you're gonna keep hitting that wall. So that was my passion, just being in education for so long. I was a director of education in the corporate world. Again, like corporate training, I didn't get the experience that I am now. So I was just so passionate about what I'm doing, what we're doing now. So that was my experience.
I think initially, so I was in business development and sales for 15 years. So I really, my whole purpose was to go in and really woo, right? So that's my one, is go in and build relationships with businesses so that they would feel comfortable coming back to the businesses I work for. So building that trust. Personally, I had never been taught about myself. I had, you know, I was married for 15 years. I had kids. So I was doing the mom, the wife role, and just doing the routine. But then I still felt like there was something missing. And that's just because I didn't know about who I was and how I was operating. So it really, and then we tie it back to our mom. So she raised 3 girls by herself, worked really hard. She really didn't have a social life that much. And when we all left the house, she crumbled, kind of, just, you know, she didn't know who she was because she had lived so long for us, you know. So we initially had that, and we still do have that passion of having people start living the life they want by understanding who they are. And that can go into any area, you know, personal or professional, wherever people there, you can always improve, you know. And as John had mentioned earlier, it's, you know, we are made by a creator and our purpose is to create. So we should never stop growing. We should always keep learning.
That's what I was going to ask. You talked about the 3 different areas. Say a little more about the spiritual side.
Yeah. So this is the part. So our mentor talks about not faith and understanding through study. And so we're not, we don't go into the religious side. We talk about understanding your mind, and the program that we facilitate, Thinking into Results, is all about really tapping into the power you have within. And really, so we go into understanding just decision making, focus, your will, all of those things develop your ability to be a stronger leader within your life. And so the study it's faith through understanding. And we do that through our own studying, through knowledge, based off of the success lineage that we have from our mentor. So yes. Yeah, not so much as the religious side of it, more of understanding how you're operating.
So from a standpoint, you talked about fear a little bit ago.
Yeah.
I heard 2 definitions of that recently, acronyms: fear everything and run, or face everything and rise. So from that standpoint, when you're addressing the fear factor, how does that motivate you? Because you can either run from it or you can hit it head on.
So I'll talk about this a little bit. So
Thank you. Great question.
That is a great question.
Yes.
That's a really thoughtful question, John. So we understand there's 2 sides. There's fear and ignorance, or ignorance and fear, or knowledge and faith and knowledge, right? So we've seen both sides. So when I was talking about, like, anybody that has really not tapped into who they are, has stress and anxiety, fear, you know, fear is just ignorance of something. So, or lack of knowing. Yeah. So when you don't know who you are, a lot of times you'll deal with stress, anxiety, depression. So we suppress and it becomes depression. So because we understand that the effect that not knowing can have, because we've had it in our families, you know, our family deals with anxiety and depression. So understanding that it can it can physically cause disease in you if you start operating from, if you're not operating from that level, I guess that level of understanding.
Yeah.
The opposite side is having the knowledge and understanding of how you're operating. Once you understand how you operate, you can understand how everybody else is operating. So moving from fear and ignorance to knowledge, faith and knowledge, and operating from a lack of expression versus suppression and depression and disease to expression, health, and just well-being.
Yeah. So if you think about, for us, like logically, our conscious mind is our logical mind. So if you have a fear of something, it doesn't, if any external thing that's going on in your life, when you suppress that to your subconscious mind, that turns into anxiety. And anxiety is sort of what we understand as a vibration, right? So you start to vibrate at an anxious level, right? And when that happens, again, like Gitzy was saying, your body will, it can turn into a disease, and your body is operating at disease. So how do we stop that? And this is why we go back to the very beginning of when we started talking about is the power of stopping that negative chatter. When you start to feel a fear, or you start to think about something that is fearful for you, this is the power of you have the ability, your conscious mind has the ability to accept or reject an idea. Your subconscious mind does not. Once it gets into your subconscious mind, this is your emotional mind. This is when you start to really feel what you're thinking, and that's what's going to be the results in your life, right? Whether it's going to move you forward in fear or in faith and knowing and understanding. So
well, I think the strongest element there is, and this is just me, is the faith element. And
right, yeah.
there's a whole thing around this called the speed of trust.
Yes.
I don't know if you've read that book.
Yep.
I've got a question.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yep. Yes.
From a sales perspective, when you're in front of a potential client, whatever that might look like, business, personal, what's your greatest challenge to, I wouldn't say win over, or how, from a sales perspective, to I guess close the deal, or whatever, however you want to look at it. What is the greatest challenge you face when you're in front of somebody like that?
Are you asking for us to, when we sell?
Yeah, what's your challenge? How do you, obviously you're in this business of consulting, coaching. What's your greatest challenge to really close the deal from a sales perspective?
Well, I think in general, we understand sales as connecting with people, right? And we understand that you have to connect heart to heart. And so we go back to the understanding of how we're operating. If we're anxious, if we feel that, I need to make this sell, or if I don't make this sell, I won't, pay rent, or whatever it is. This is just for anyone. And Gitzy was talking about this too. Like, say you have somebody who's, been told by their boss to go make a sell, and internally they're not aligned. They don't maybe feel they're worthy of the amount that they're asking for, even from their client. Mm-hmm. So it's all about energy and understanding that how you're operating, what you believe is going to resonate and come across to your future prospect. So we really,
So it's a connection. It's not a transactional sale. This is a relationship building curve.
Completely.
Correctly.
It's application, when we go back to 95% mindset and 5% strategy, there's processes that you need to follow, right? So people will buy because they want to gain a profit or avoid a loss, right? So we understand that. We have understandings of the processes that go behind any kind of sale, right? So we have that, but then we have the knowledge of desire, emotion, how people think, because we understand how we operate, right? So we are connecting with people. First, we have the emotional connection. People buy generally emotionally, and then they try to rationalize it with logic. So we tie in we're actually going to have a sales training coming up. It's a holistic
there's more process. To it, but definitely we understand that if you're not operating at the right level, that's going to be the big challenge.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to stop the questions at this point and go to our mug contest. First of all, Gitzy and Pia, thank you so much for speaking today, and I hope everybody noticed they powered right through that disruption from technology. They didn't let that slow them down one bit. And there's a lesson in that itself. So well done. Thank you. And if people want more information about your services, what is your website address?
InspiredResultsConsulting.com. It's long, but it's just 3 words. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. Now, Gitzy and Pia will serve as our judges today for the coffee mug contest. So hoist those mugs up there.
Okay, can you hold them up?
We have to swipe through the screens. Ooh, I like that one. Oh, let pro. I like yours still.
Okay.
Okay, I like that one. Do you like that?
Okay, yeah, sounds good.
Okay, Joe Sweeney. We like Joe Sweeney.
Yeah.
Yes.
Joe Sweeney is the winner. All right. Yeah. Well done, Joe.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us today. We will leave this Zoom open for a few minutes in case people want to exchange information or talk to one another afterwards. I hope you'll join us next week for Diane Siefkas with DK Solutions. And don't forget to visit our website if you want more information about our services or you'd like to sign up for a coaching session. Thank you so much, and hopefully we'll see you all again next week. Stay well.
Thank you, Steve.